Yo, what's up, Canna family? This is Vodka with the Stoned Age Podcast. Welcome to the show. We're going to have an amazing show tonight for all you growers out there that are trying to grow organically and have a really awesome product to be able to stand behind and to be able to get great results with. I've been growing myself for a long time, and I've done everything from hydroponics to organics. And I can swear, and attest that organics really is bringing out the true flavors and, better than I've ever had growing hydro, in my opinion. So I've been on, a commercial farm to where we were organic, 100% organic, and my strains have been ran for, in hydroponics. And then we took it on a large scale organics, and man, did it make such a difference in the final product. So I'm excited today to be able to bring on Justin Ackerman here from Organics Alive and to really get, more about their products from Organics Alive and actually why you should switch over if you haven't tried them before. So Justin, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Hey, I appreciate you getting a hold of us and contacting us to get on for an interview and to tell your story.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. It's good to be here. As you mentioned, being new to this state, you're welcoming me with open arms, and I really appreciate it.
Well, you know what I mean. So we're from Arizona, and I'm born and raised here. When I do know, I know of your product. I've sold your product before in previous stores. I've actually used a little bit of your product in the past, and I know it had great results. So I was excited when you reached out to us, and I'm like, yeah, I love to spread, good products and put that out there to our community here and something that can actually benefit somebody. And if they're using organics, I want them to know why they should use your products over another organic product. So if you could, just tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into this industry, and if you've been growing cannabis, how long you've been growing cannabis for.
Yeah, well, let's see. I was a closet cannabis grower, although an unsuccessful one years ago. This is in my high school days and thereafter. But I was always a connoisseur and was around the greatest growers, at least from my area back then, and always had the best cannabis around.
And what area was this again?
This is Southern California.
Okay,
yeah, Orange County.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, and then dabbled into a little bit of the business side of things back then. Making trips up to Northern California, and I still continue to dabble and grow, but never really got to a large scale until recently. But I got into sales early on and started raising capital for companies. So okay. I did that for about 10 or 15 years, various companies. I was doing everything from finance companies to aerospace, you name it. I was kind of bouncing around. And this back in 2015 and 16, I started to see a lot of cannabis deals start coming across my desk. I was in a pool of capital raisers that would get deal flow, and we started seeing a lot of cannabis grows and different companies that were trying to break into the cannabis game, raising money for various grow projects or whatever dispensary projects. As things became more legal before it became recreational legal, it was going medically legal. So I saw a lot of different deals coming in that were medical deals, and I just, I had this stigma, like many do, about the cannabis still being illegal and not wanting to get into the business side of things with it. So in 2016 or so, I met who are now my partners, Todd and Eric, and these guys were the real deal. They've been growing since the 90s continuously.
Some old school OG guys.
Yeah, and they came from the same area as me, which was really bizarre because we kind of ran in the same circle of people and friends, but we didn't really quite know each other. It wasn't until I was introduced through a mutual friend, and they had this amazing product, and they were kind of running it out of their garage. They were real old school underground type guys, always were about the plant. They were always about the best quality and organic cannabis. And I said, okay, well, let me check these guys out. And they shared their technology and what they were working on, and I was very interested at that point. I was like, okay, this is a way that I can get into an emerging market of cannabis without actually having to touch the cannabis. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And long story short, we were able to strike a deal and get into business, and I've been with them ever since, and
Nice.
became an owner. And we've been able to develop some really amazing technology, very innovative products that I believe can change the entire industry within cannabis and possibly agriculture as a whole. But that's maybe another can of worms to be
Right.
opened.
You just stick with one, focus on one point, right?
Yeah. So to talk a little bit about the product, we have a full line of organic inputs. We have fermentations, which is kind of our energy management system. This is going to be like your humic acid, your fulvic acid, complex carbohydrates, simple sugars, microbial food sources.
Okay.
And then we have microbial products. Right now we have a living compost. But what's garnering us the most attention and what's the most innovation in our product and what makes us different is our fertilizer products.
Okay.
So we have a full 4-step system of fertilizer. It's a dry soluble. It feeds through systems. It's
like irrigation systems?
Yeah, it feeds through irrigation systems.
Not too many organic companies can say that, right?
Correct. and that's mostly because conventional organic products are derived from animal byproducts, so they got a ton of biofilms in them. They're derived from fish emulsion, chicken shit, bone meal, feather meal, you name it. It's going to have some sort of biofilms that are going to clog up systems, clog up emitters, and create problems. Well, ours is none of that. So we have a process that is called microbial fermentation byproduct. So this is a terminology that actually the CDFA had to come up with for us. They invented a totally new category for us because it's not terrestrial, meaning it's not pulled from the earth,
okay.
And it's not synthetic, so it's not chemically made. So
it's fermented.
Microbial fermentation byproduct. So essentially what we do is we take a vat of water and we put organic cane sugar in it, and then we introduce a specific bacteria. The bacteria consumes the sugar and then will secrete and then burst the nutrient. So the magic happens in the vacuole or the gut of the microbe. Through that fermentation process, then we slowly dehydrate that, and what we're left with is a 100% soluble powder that's free of salt, free of heavy metals, and has no animal byproduct.
Wow.
And so
that could definitely be revolutionary and change the game. I would.
As far as we know, nobody else is doing this technology or comes close to it. What's beautiful about it is certainly the usage of it is lends itself to go into any infrastructure and doesn't cause any issues. But the real magic happens because of the bioavailability. So it literally has a free pass, meaning there's no ionic charge. And I'm not just full disclosure, I'm not a microbiologist. I'm just a sales guy that learns on the fly. So from what I understand with our product is the plant absorbs the nutrient through what's called passive diffusion,
okay.
Which in contrast to conventional fertilizers has to go through what's called an ionic exchange, meaning the plant has to expend energy to access that nutrient. With our product, it's uptaken immediately. So literally when you use it, you can almost see a difference immediately. You can foliar spray with it, you can soil drench with it, and that's what's garnered us the most attention right now.
That's pretty awesome, man.
Thanks.
I mean, that's what it takes to be able to in this crazy industry that we're in now with all these different competition, right? You have to set yourself aside from them and be able to come up with a product that nobody else can compare to. Yeah. And I think that's what you guys have done here, is that you've set yourself on a platform to where, people that are truly into this and passionate about, a product, especially an organic cannabis product, that this can make all the difference, I mean, like you said, if you can do this on a commercial scale, run it through dosers and irrigation lines and things like that, and it comes out organic to where, let's just say 90% of the cannabis cultivations and companies out there can't do that. They're all going to be on another level because you're going to be able to be organic and be able to produce on the same level as them.
Yeah.
With the same kind of technology that they're using to be able to run the mineral salts and things like that, right?
Yeah, we've actually proven that. We can grow organic at scale, and we can do it consistently. We have several growers over the years. We've been in business since 2004, although this technology has only been around for the last 6 years. So we have 6 years of data that we've compiled mostly in soil. And here's the kicker, right? we're soil guys. We are always going to promote soil. We use soil. We grow in soil. And so we really haven't messed with the hydro world up until recently. So about 14 months ago, we were starting to get some feedback from some hydro growers that were using our stuff. So much so that we decided, okay, we really need to explore this. So we started getting into the R&D of hydroponics, and it might be a little premature right now, but we are almost ready to go into full-scale hydroponics with an organic product.
Wow. That's going to be game-changing right there.
It could be. We might create enemies, actually, by me saying this right now.
That's all right, and that's, in any kind of industry, that happens because, people get mad because other people are like, hey, I want to use this now because I see the results. It's something that I can stand behind that's organic. It's working. A lot of people are going to switch over if that's the case. And I could see why other companies would get mad and, upset and get their panties in a bunch, right?
Yeah. Well, we've done tests. We've completed testing on a commercial scale, undisclosed company in California, where we were able to successfully increase quality. We increased terpene profiles. We increased rosin development.
Wow.
And we were able to hit yields.
And that's the main thing right there. Any cultivation that's trying to grow on a mass scale, they want if they've been growing a certain way for so many years with minerals and salts and things like that, they want to stay in the same, yields and same number categories. So they don't want to, switch over and produce a lot less. So that's going to be something that's going to be eye-catching to these larger cultivations. And then what I was saying at the beginning of the show, when I took my genetics up north to this farm, we were growing organically, in soil, the terpene profile is what really impressed me the most. Not that my shit wasn't dank before, because it was, but man, did it bring out so much more flavor and smells. I was like, damn, like, a true organic flower, and, my mind surpasses anything that can be grown mineral-based.
Yeah, the genetics obviously play a major part in the quality of cannabis that you're growing, but you need to be able to give those genetics the proper platform to do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. Express
I feel
itself.
yeah, exactly. I feel like synthetics, you can't achieve that.
No, and it all comes down to nature, and like you said, the microbial activity that is helping process it and make it available for the plant to be able to express in certain ways. And I think that's where we'll never be able to compete with, a mineral base. We'll never be able to compete with, a natural microbial, inoculant or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So I think, I would love to actually run a whole line of your guys' stuff side by side and just kind of show my customers the same kind of results. We're out of Arizona, like I said. I'm gonna give a plug to my stores here, Little Shop of Hydros. We try to help our customers be successful. You know what I mean? And when it comes to organics, a lot of people can fail pretty hard if they don't understand how organics work. And microbial activity, fungi, bacteria are going to be a key to success when you're running organics, to be able to help break it down, I guess, properly and fast enough for our plants to use it, right, efficiently, to be able to grow efficiently and not have deficiencies and any problems throughout the way. And we all know it takes a little bit longer, in an organic setting, typically, not with your guys's, it sounds, but with a typical organic nutrient line, dry, liquid, it takes a little longer because of this reason right here. The organics take time to break down.
Correct.
You know that. Mineral-based is readily available. As soon as you pour it and mix it in with the water, you pour it into the plant can use it. Not with organics. There is going to be some that's going to be available, but most of that nutrient is going to take time to be available for the plant to use it, and that's what takes a little bit longer. You have to be careful, and I tell my customers all the time, if you're, organics is going to be your safest route. If you're worried about burning your plants and this and that, then this is what you need to do because it's more of a slow release, especially dry. And with mineral base, you could fucking fry your plant like that.
Real easy.
What I
One
mean?
bad mistake and you're in trouble. That's where we're kind of changing that perception of organics. We've had a lot of growers, and I didn't coin this phrase, but we had a grower tell us, your stuff hits like a synthetic, but it won't compromise all that beautiful soil value that you've developed if you're growing in soil. So because of that bioavailability, you're not having to wait for the microbial dance, we like to call it, to occur for those nutrients to become unlocked. It's readily available with ours. So
that's what I like about you is what you said, you know what I mean, to where it's going to act the same as a mineral-based nutrient, but way different results.
Way different results. It's not going to have any of the bad byproduct of those mineralized or salt-based products.
And you say bad, it's not even talking about the product that we're consuming. We're talking about byproducts even after the fact. Like this used nutrient solution, where is it going? You know what I mean? Where
100%.
Is it contaminating? What is it contaminating, right? Because it is.
Big time. Cannabis is proven to be a major polluter of the earth. Groundwater,
all that kind of shit. And if we're talking huge cultivations that are using, thousands of gallons of water every day, so we're talking about a lot of waste.
Occurs if they're growing in outdoor in a farm. The leaching that occurs into the rivers creates algae blooms. There's all kinds of, the chain goes forever. That's actually how we our passion for the ocean. We're surfers. The owners of Organics Alive, we're all surfers, so that's kind of how we got started.
Man, you're going to really miss that being out in Arizona now.
But I'm only 6 hours away, which is not bad.
It's not a walk to the beach, though.
They are building a wave pool out here, though.
Oh yeah, I heard about
in
that.
Gilbert,
That's right.
which looks pretty fun. But we'll see. But our passion for the ocean is what led us to understand and want to understand what was going into the inputs, right?
Preserve, rather than
at our
damage.
local break, Salt Creek. Shout out to Salt Creek. There's a golf course, and occasionally we would be surfing and we'd realize our eyes are burning. What is that from? Well, the runoff from all of that chemical-laden fertilizer that they're putting on the golf course. Golf courses are terrible, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
All that leached right into the ocean. So this is what sparked my partners, I should say, to really bring more organic solutions. And the lowest barrier to entry in the world of growing would be cannabis. I think cannabis growers are a lot more open to newer technologies. There's not as much, at least not as much nepotism, like you find in big ag. Mm-hmm. Johnny's been buying fertilizer from Bob for the last 40 years. He ain't going to change. He's Scott. Exactly. Yeah. You said that, not me. The mentality for them to change is a lot slower. Although we're still going to try, but at least for us, cannabis was the low-hanging fruit, so to speak. And we really did focus on the organic guys, like you were saying. We are for the organic guys, but you know what? We're converting salt guys. We're converting them.
That's good.
Because of this technology. And if we can get in front of them and they can actually use the product, and that's what we've done. That's how we've built this business. If we put the products in the hands of the growers and we let that do the talking, we let that do the selling, and when they see the difference, when they see the ease of use, and they see the difference in their flower and the quality of their product, it's really a no-brainer. And then at that point, it's just really a function of economics, and we've hit that number 2. So we actually have made it economic. We've made it easy to use. It's a very easy system to use.
And that's what growers want. A lot of, we're talking the novice. They want easy. They don't, a beginner grower wants something that is easy, that works, that they don't have to buy 10 bottles and things like that.
You don't need to mix a bunch
get
of
the results, right? Yeah, and then safe, you know what I mean? Something that you don't have to wear gloves for even, probably. You know what I'm saying?
You can actually drink our stuff. It's not going to taske good, but...
Yeah, I bet it wouldn't.
It's not going to
if you like ferments, maybe. But, and I think that's important, and I when we're talking about this, I know for a long time, and this is, I don't know, you tell me if it was maybe your partners were doing this back in the day, but KNF farming, Korean natural farming, with fermentations and things like that. That's been big in the we'll say the underground gardening world for a long time, and it works.
Yeah, it does. It does work. And I don't know if they were doing that per se, but certainly a lot of the philosophy that goes into KNF is part of our company. It all comes down to a symbiotic relationship with the universe that exists inside of soil, right? It really is what it is.
It is a universe, right? There's so much microbial activity and biodiversity in the soil that it's
crazy.
Amazing.
As the more powerful telescopes get invented, the further we can see into space. The same with microscopes. The further that we can see down, it just keeps getting smaller.
Right. Cellular level.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, we always cared for the soil. We were always treating the soil. Like we were talking earlier, we were treating trees a decade ago with microbes. We had a brew kit system that we used to manufacture and sell, and we were peddling it to the cannabis growers as a tea kit. Up until a year or so ago, we discontinued it. But on a larger scale, we were treating trees. We were bringing trees back to health that were infested.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's been a big part of our philosophy is just really.
And then you doing that, obviously proving on a larger scale, a tree is a lot different than a cannabis plant and any other kind of plants. Obviously, they're more of a hard wood and a very deep rooted. Plant or tree, whatever you want to call it, the techno-scientific term, but, it's a lot different. And if it works on a large scale like that, on a bigger kind of plant, then what can it actually do for vegetable plants and cannabis plants,
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we've been able, like I said, we've been at this for a while. Our main focus has been in cannabis, but we've had a foot in conventional farming. We got a melon farmer that's using our stuff right now with great. He's actually foliar feeding his melons on a commercial scale with great success. Grapes, strawberries, other row crops. We've gotten great data that we've pushed Brix levels in fruit to higher levels in grapes. Just a sweeter, better quality.
I just
fruit.
had something pop in my mind about large scale, farmers and things like that. How about the pests with your guys' products? Does it actually detour? Does it, attract?
So our philosophy to pest mitigation is all biological. So our belief is that a healthy ecosystem in your soil or a good soil value is not going to attract. So a pest is attracted to a specimen because it's immune deficient, right? So by treating the soil and the health of that soil, the plant is going to get what it needs and is going to be able to fight off. So with that's where the microbial element to our company started it off. We were treating trees, we were treating cannabis plants with the tea, we were treating the soil, and that was our way of pest mitigation. But we know that on a commercial scale, that's a delicate balance. You got a lot of other elements that are going on. What's great about our stuff is the whole line works great together, but it's also supplemental. So so far we haven't any other product mixed with ours in a grow that's had any kind of adverse effect, including IPM.
Wow. All right. So universal, you can use it.
Yeah, you can use universally
with other products. Let's just say there's a lot of growers out there that get stuck with certain things and they don't want to stop using certain things, so they can potentially add your guys' line right to it without any kind of.
We have a lot of guys that do that. They like their one way. We got a lot of growers that come to us and they're like, you know what, I got my system, but I just need a hit. I need a hit of nitrogen in veg every so often, or I'm chasing potassium in flower, and I need something to, especially if they're growing in soil. I feel like that's a common thing that happens when they're growing in soil if they haven't cooked their soil properly or got enough potassium in there. Our products work great for that because you can come in, you can hit it. It's immediately bioavailable. You can foliar feed with it.
All the products you can foliar feed, or
all the products can be foliar fed. Yes.
Okay.
Or soil drenched, save for one. We have one unique product. It's a fermented castor bean. The product is FCB. It's a foliar application in veg only.
Okay.
And that helps aid in diffusion, helps heat and stress management, helps the uptake.
Sounds like we need that out in Arizona.
Big time.
If crops being outside, foliar feeding with that, or with our extreme heat. Right now we're in summertime in Arizona. We're at 110 or something today, and for the rest of the next couple months, probably going up to 115 or more.
Yeah.
So we need to be able to protect our plants, with those kind of things: heat and stress, drought tolerance. I mean, those kind of things are what would be the key to success here for an outdoor grower. A lot of people don't think you can grow outdoor here in Arizona, but you can by using the right products and the right processes, protecting your plants, using shade, frequent watering, deep watering, things like that, and then giving them good health. What these products are doing is improving the health to be able to make it through these kind of things. We want to, ideally, in Arizona, we want to make it through the heat. We're going to be into it until, September, October, but the heat is going to succeed around end of August. So we want our plants to be established before, late spring, getting into summer, make it through the heat, get to the end of August where they're going to start flowering, and then they're going to come, they're going to be strong, and then they're going to put on a nice heavy load. So
yeah, absolutely. All those elements are important. Obviously, there's not just one fix-all, but yeah, the FCB product really does help to aid in diffusion of intense sunlight or in intense LED light.
That's good. I'm glad you highlighted that. Yesterday I was on, I think I was on Kyle Cushman's social media page on his second post, or his one of the recent posts was one of your guys' products. I can't remember the exact name. It was something with, does it have the word fly in it maybe or something?
Fly, no.
No, what was it? I know it was your guys' product. I'm trying to think of what it was.
Yeah, he was.
But he was mixing it up.
Yeah, he just did a lunch with Kyle Cushman thing. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't know.
Yeah, he was doing. He did a little bit of a contest. He was like, because he just started up another room, and he was like, I think it was like, guess the strain and guess what inputs I'm using. And nice. There was a lot of people that actually mentioned Organics Alive, and right they were correct. And so yeah, he's using the full line.
That's great.
In that grow. So
and it's always nice to have somebody that's reputable and been doing this on a on a more notoriety kind of scale, to where people watch and listen, and somebody actually putting it to the test and showing people, hey, this works.
Yeah, Kyle's the man for sure. And although we are a small company, we do have some legacy growers out there that are using us. So if you look hard enough, you'll find some reputable growers that are well known that are using our product.
So how many products are in the line?
Okay, so we have it's 4 categories. We have microbial, which is going to be our living compost. That's going to be everything for our biology. So we got a really good heavy metals free living compost. We teamed up with Curasoil and Humankind out of Oregon to develop a really robust
shelf
living
stable
compost. Yes, so we sell those in 10-pound and 25-pound boxes. A little bit of that goes a long way. We got a lot of growers that make tea out of that. So that's our microbial element. And then we have our energy management, which is going to be our fermentations. That's going to be your simple and complex carbohydrates. So we have a fulvic acid. If you're familiar with fulvic acid, what's unique about our fulvic acid is it's not mined. So there's no heavy metals.
Oh, really?
It's a very high-grade fulvic acid, 20%.
I understand myself, but if you could explain a little bit of the difference between fulvic and humic acid.
So humic acid would be just another layer of decomposition. All right, so as far as the usage is concerned, fulvic acid in our case is going to be a microbial food source. This is going to be your simple sugar, simple carbohydrate, the energy of all that microbial activity that's going to feed off of it. Also, that sugar is going to help to push resin development in your cannabis as well. And because ours is not mined, you completely eliminate any heavy metal issues like you would with regular fulvic acid. Humic acid is going to help aid in the uptake of all those great nutrients that you got in your soil that you're feeding. You're going to increase your stalk thickness with the humic acid. Also, a very, very good quality humic acid that we have in our FPT, so that's called. So we had to letter these as per CDFA rules. So we have the FPF, which is our fulvic acid, the FPT, which is the humic acid, and then the FCB, which is the fermented castor bean. So those 3 there will round out the energy management or our fermentations. And then we have our fertilizers, which we have the dry soluble, which is the main. That's going to be your base of your NPK values. Is the dry soluble. But we also have two other versions. We have a liquid version, which is the pre-dehydrated version of the dry soluble. What's unique about that is there's a naturally occurring sulfur that's in that liquid version, which is the fourth macronutrient. Next to nitrogen, some people say it's one of the most important elements that you can put into your garden. So we have a naturally occurring. This is really going to help to aid in any nutrient deficiencies that you're using. It can be foliar fed as well.
Awesome.
It's also got metabolites in it, some other really good ingredients that help to push, not push, but give whatever genetics that you're growing the best possible platform to do what it's supposed to do. And then we have a granular version, which adds a slow release element. So we got a lot of cocoa guys that use the granular as a buffer to feedings, of course.
Yeah, in between, just a slow release, like you said, just to keep them happy.
Yeah, because any inert medium, the plant's only getting what you're feeding it, as you know. We learned a lot about that in working with rockwool over the last year.
Definitely.
But we've gotten some good success in that.
So what about with the fertilizers and things like that? What about bloom boosters? Anything like that?
Yeah. So the fertilizer comes in four. We have a veg, we have a transition, we have a bloom, and then we have a finisher.
Okay.
And they're more acronyms than letters. So because I don't have them here to show, it's best explained. It's the V series. So the V stands for vacuole, which is the gut of a microbe. That's where all the magic occurs, because we feed that bacteria sugar. It produces the whatever NPK value that we're looking for based on that bacteria. So it's the V series. So VN would be.
So it all comes back to the bacteria. That's really
comes back to the bacteria,
making the magic happen. Right?
The cool thing about it is it's derived from microbes, but it has no microbes in it. We've literally extracted the microbes from the gut of the microbe, making it microbe free. And in fact, the powder is essentially the skeletal remains of microbes.
Wow.
So, and this is one important element that I failed to mention. It's carbon-based. So literally, as you're feeding the plant, you're putting carbon back into the soil. So arguably, you're improving your soil quality every time you use our product.
And you're recycling these microbes back into.
And carbon is a building block of life, right? Everything's made of it. So the plant responds extremely well to the carbon-based attribute of our product. Like I said, this is why we've been able to see higher terpene profiles, even higher THC levels in some of the sap analysis that we got with some of our customers.
And yields are up there.
And yields are congruent, in some cases better. And I believe we're still discovering more about this technology. We really just barely scratched the surface on the capabilities. In fact, we've shown to decrease usage rates. So this is where the economics come into play. I know we were talking about it earlier,
trying to save
a lot of growers it is what it is, right? The market conditions are what they are, and we need to save where we can, but that shouldn't mean we compromise quality.
It's true.
For us, it's all about quality, especially now.
That's what it should be about.
You mentioned earlier that, the wholesale market is being pushed out. The growers or the commercial growers that are fully integrated are the ones that are kind of running the show.
Yeah.
So it's all about branding. If you're in that game, do you want to be just as good putting the same mid-grade boof onto the shelves as your neighbor? No, you need to be able to differentiate yourself.
Stand aside,
That's where we can come in.
Your product.
That's where we can come in, and this is why we have, some larger growers that are looking at us and going, okay, let's discover what this is, because this is totally different. This is not like anything else that's on the market.
And that's how we kind of diversify in our CBD company, Dynapure CBD. What sets us aside a little bit, we're a premium brand where most of our products are USDA certified organic. All of our oils, all of our salves, all USDA certified organic. So not too many companies going to be out there, go through that and, have that label on there where that little green seal on there makes a difference to some people, right? I mean, so just like you have to go a step above and beyond to be able to really, in a flooded market, to be able to make, your brand stand out.
Well, that's a good point, because, I think that the taste and the preferences of the consumer will elevate. Just like, for instance, the organic grocery industry.
Yeah.
20 years ago, you couldn't find. Maybe you'd find an organic apple sitting on the shelf.
Right.
Nowadays, you can get organic soda pop.
Right.
Right? Is it organic? We don't know. But, the taste and preferences of people understanding what they're consuming on the food level has certainly grown. I think Costco is over 50% of their product in their stores is organic. Eventually, and I think it's slowly starting to happen, cannabis is going to go the same way. People are understanding, wait a minute, I'm smoking stuff that's full of heavy metals. And that's why certain states, their allotment for metals in their testing is very low, like Ohio. Yeah. Oregon just passed a law that lowered it too. Heavy metals is a major issue in the cannabis. So,
I mean, well, you think about it, well, I guess from my days, the typical cannabis user smokes a lot of freaking cannabis throughout the day. You know what I mean? And consumes a lot of cannabis. So if your products are all full of heavy metals, I mean, that's going to build up in your body, you would think, over time. And, it just makes sense.
And there are some people that don't care. There's some people.
Well, obviously, those are the people that are eating McDonald's and drinking soda. And,
yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a ton of them, right? Yeah. I mean, that's just, society, there's going to be all sorts of levels of consumers, right? There's going to be people that don't give a damn. They're just eat crappy as can be.
Totally. Whatever
kind of products that are in front of them.
Yeah.
Mexican dirt weed, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
If I had a whole pile of fucking dirt weed right here and there was no dank around, I still wouldn't smoke that shit. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm just not going to smoke.
It's like the $2 chuck, right? The wine so it's $2. People were buying it, but there's always going to be a market for the guy who wants. Or the folks who want the higher grade. I can't even think of a high grade wine right now because I don't drink anymore.
Me either. But there's Bud Light, like you say, and then there's the craft beer, right? I'm never going to drink Bud Light. I don't drink to just drink.
Yeah.
I enjoy the flavors and things like that. And that's where the cannabis consumer is going to have to play.
Craft cannabis, right?
That's right.
That's what it comes down to. And we have proven, and we're the company that growers are coming to bring craft to scale.
That's where it needs to be. I mean, we got a lot of large-scale cultivations, and we'll say more than half of the U.S., right? So then a lot of them are producing boof, you know what I mean, and trying to, a lot of these markets are getting flooded, so they're trying to save as many dollars and pennies as possible, so they're buying cheap products, cheap nutrients, and trying to just get by on the very bare minimum, which that's where the product shows in the end.
Yeah.
To where craft cannabis is gonna prevail if small craft cannabis companies can survive, right?
Yes.
And make it through the storm. And that's where we're at right now. We're in the storm. So we got to make sure that we support and put our money to, be aware of where you're spending your money, basically. You know what I'm saying? We want to support small farmers, in my opinion. That's where Humboldt, has gone, and disappeared almost, right?
Yeah.
Because nobody supported these small farms and these craft farmers that started this industry. It just went to, I can get an eighth for fucking $10.
Yeah.
Well, that's not what this is about. I came from, back in the 90s when I started, and we started with dank. And there's a standard, from that point on. I'm like, I don't want to smoke it, and I don't want it if it ain't dank.
Once you go, you can't go back.
Like, why the hell? Like, why would I want to smoke that when there's, the potential to have this? You know what I mean? And you just got to know, either the right person or the right processes to do it and the right inputs.
Exactly.
And I think that's what this is about. Spreading the message on products that can actually be beneficial to the plant itself and then the consumer in the end.
Well, yeah, and we're notorious for saying we're only half the battle. That's where guys like you and what you're doing at your store here, educating and being a source for growers to understand what goes into growing really good quality. So that's why
it's not just about the most popular marketing brand and out there. You know what I mean? Like, there's brands out there, we all know who they are, that just fucking everybody thinks they have to use because of their marketing. They, unfortunately, consumers are all about the trendy kind of shit. They see everybody doing it and this and that. They're going to want to jump on the bandwagon, most of them. But You got to diversify as a consumer as well. Try different stuff, and like I said, support the smaller companies. Like you said, you're a small company, small business, doing the right practices. You know, if we live at all the corporate, we're all fucked. We're all screwed.
Big time.
Right? Are they ever going to fucking care about the consumer?
They don't care about the grower.
They don't care about anybody besides the fucking money. You know what I'm saying? And the bottom line. You know, so we got to be able to stand together. You know, and we're in this together. You know, retailers like myself at the Hydro Store. You're a small company with brands that we, you know, could potentially sell and put out there to our customers. We got to have, you know, the trust of our business partner. You're a business partner, right? You know what I'm saying? We got to have that trust that your products are going to stand up and that the results are going to be there, right?
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. I don't want to sell one of my customers, something that they're going to come back and be like, bro, this is crap. You know what I mean? My flour it didn't work. You know what I mean? I want to be able to hear them come back and be like, bro, like, I'm so glad that you recommended this to me because look what I have.
Exactly.
You know? And that's what it's about for me. You know, I love to see my customers come back with success, you know, and being that smile on their face. They've been to all the other stores and they've tried all these different things and it just didn't work for them. You know what I'm saying? To where they just didn't understand. They didn't have somebody there to be able to walk them through it. And to be that advocate for them, say, hey, you know, I see what you're doing over here. I think you should try this. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't just tell you this for a reason. You know, I really do believe in this. You know what I'm saying? I like to try products myself and to really, you know, be able to stand behind it and say, hey, you know, this is what I got. You know, I love showing my customers flour that I've grown with different products and be like, look, this is what it comes out to. You know, sometimes I'll use the cheaper stuff. I started with Dynagrow mineral-based nutrients back in the 90s. And I still carry it because it works, you know, for those guys that want to run just a mineral-based nutrient and have it easy and something that's going to have good results at the end. There you go. You know what I'm saying? It works. I can stand behind that. I've been using it for 20-some years. Anybody that I've ever had use it, they never had, you know, complaints. You know what I'm saying?
That's why you're here, you know?
And that's where I pride myself on that. You know what I mean? Like, I have to. You know, when I've ran stores for many years, you have to stand behind what you're selling. If you sell somebody just to sell for money and this and that, you're never going to win. You know, you have to fucking stay true to what you're doing here. You know, all my products that I carry in my store, I can stand behind. I've used them. I know they work. And then I can show you how to make them work properly. You might not even realize you're doing something wrong. You know what I'm saying? Most people think they're doing everything wrong, right? And then all of a sudden they're like, holy shit, I didn't realize that I shouldn't be using tap water, you know, or whatever, you know. You're like, well, shit, there's the problem all right there, you know. Yeah. So when it comes down to that, even using your products, if you try to use them in our tap water out here in Arizona, they're not going to work as good as if you're using a fresh reverse osmosis or well water that has low EC. You know, they're just not going to do it because we got chlorine, we got fluoride, we got shitloads of who knows what the hell was in our water. So all those microbes in that your solutions aren't going to like that. You know what I'm saying? So we got to educate people on those kind of things too. You know, like to be able to protect the product, so to say, while we're delivering it. Yeah.
You know, like you were saying, authenticity is your superpower. You know, being true to what you're doing and what you're selling is paramount. You know, that's why I think we all have this we all have the bullshit meter, you know. Some may be better than others, but you know, the ones who are really create a symbiotic business relationships are the ones who are true to the end customer and to themselves. So we're big on that too. We're big on grower success. You know, we're always available. Although we're small, we take calls, you know, Sundays, and we show up. We show up to grows. So that's a big part of what we're doing here is to build successful growers so that we can put out the best medicine, because essentially that's what we're doing. Certainly we can do it for recreational use, and we all do, but there's a bigger picture here. You know, it's a medicine, and we should be putting out the best medicine possible.
Right, and it is a medicine. I'm glad you pointed that out, and that's why we have to treat it as that. These consumers, will say a large majority of cannabis consumers are taking this for a medicinal reason, to be able to help with whatever ailment that they might be suffering. You know, some people are on their deathbed and depend on quality cannabis and cannabinoids to be able to help them, whatever that might be, in helping their quality of life, to where we have to stay true to that. You know what I mean? It should be about that. It should never have turned into all profit And that's where, my show came from here in Arizona, is because I used to run a large-scale grow, and they wanted to poison people, and I wasn't having that. We didn't have testing here for 10 years. We had a medical program for 10 years with no testing. These motherfuckers were poisoning our patients. And I know it firsthand. That's why I started my first show. I was like, well, shit, somebody's got to fucking let people know what the hell's happening. I came from the inside. I know it was happening. So I started my first show here. We were the first cannabis show here in Arizona. And we started letting educating the community, like what to ask for, why you should be asking these questions, know what you're consuming. Because these motherfuckers out here were poisoning. I know for a fact, like majority, 90% of the time, they were getting poisoned by any product they got from any dispensary out here until when Prop 207 passed. That's when finally testing went into play. So many companies were not on the shelves for a while because they could not pass testing to be on that fucking shelf. Yeah. It was fucking ridiculous. And now, as I'm sure you know this, it happens everywhere. There's companies that have been on the news recently that get in trouble for paying fucking testing companies for fucking false results. And that's where we're at now, to where these companies have so much money that they can fucking fake the test results.
Well, it's kind of like the food industry almost.
Yeah.
Some of the food that's out on our shelves is straight poison.
It is. And, I don't even know how it gets there. It all comes down to money, basically.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Greed.
So
it's greed.
Greed and, lobbying to get that fucking product on the shelf. They pay somebody so much money, they passed a bill that says it's okay, then, So
that's why shows like yours are so important, man.
It is, and that's where we, recently in the past, we have a big cannabis company here that came in and bought up Harvest that was 27 licenses. It's True Leaf out of Florida, corrupt. Her husband's in prison right now for corrupt shit in the cannabis industry, and that's our biggest license owner here in Arizona. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the kind of shit we deal with in our industry, that these corrupt people can come in and do corrupt shit, get caught for it, and still be able to do business in another state and this and that and the other, and be these leading people in the cannabis industry. Like, these people should not be leading our industry. They should not be even in the industry if they're going to be corrupt like that. These people, most of the time, are not cannabis people. They're not growers. They're not even cannabis users. And if they are, they never were back in the day and took the fucking risk to be able to get here, like a lot of these legacy growers did, like in Humboldt and all these different areas. We have forgotten how we got here. And that's where we need to be able to re-educate and have shows like this to be able to really tell the stories. Because you're not going to hear this shit on fucking media. You're not going to hear it on the fucking news. No cannabis owner or anything, they're not going to fucking talk about it because these are the shady fuckers that are out here doing this shit. Yeah. So you're not going to hear about it unless you're getting it from these kind of shows. Yeah. Or unless you're on the inside yourself. And that's what I was telling you earlier. I love running the store and having reps come in from all around and hearing all the different fuckery that's happening in our industry across the nation. This isn't just here in Arizona. This is happening everywhere.
I can attest to that.
And we hear this, maybe you don't know what this is, MSO. You hear this MSOs coming in. This is multi-state operators that are coming in to all across the nation. They have sometimes up to hundreds of licenses across the nation in different states. And that's how we got here. You know what I'm saying? We're letting people get into the industry just because of money. We have politicians that know the fucking laws. Here in Arizona, it was the most corrupt thing in our licensing system. They knew how to fucking skirt the laws and fucking to be able to get paid off to be able to fucking get these people licenses. Yeah. On one of our licensings, our second round of licensing, it was 32 licenses, I think it was, that they were putting out again. This is through a lottery system. I'm sure people hear me that have followed my show. They hear me talk about this 100 fucking times, but I'm going to say it again. The Department of Health ran our fucking licensing lottery and distribution of these licenses, right? So there was 32 licenses going to go out in a lottery system. Out of however many hundreds or thousands of people that put into this fucking lottery system, it's a $5,000 application fee, non-refundable, da-da-da-da-da. One employee from the Department of Health got like 9 licenses out of 32 in a fucking lottery.
Oh, shit.
You tell me that's fucking not corrupt.
You can't.
You know what I mean?
Can't say that, yeah.
So, in a lottery system, an employee from the Department of Health gets that and screws how many people out of a fucking opportunity to get into this industry that deserve it? Yeah. That's how the shit that we have to deal with. And it's not just that one person. There was another amount of licenses out of that 32. The rest of the licenses that one group got as well. Yeah. And it's just like, if you were one of the lucky few, which shout out to one of our sponsors, Sticky Saguaro Dispensary out in Chandler. They're the only dispensary in Arizona that I will rep and that I will refer my followers to, my listeners, whoever. Sticky Saguaro is out in Chandler. You're out that way, I know. It's an hour away from here in North Phoenix. But I wouldn't spend my money with any other company besides them. They're family-owned, family-operated. They're on-site, on a daily. You see, from knowing the family from before they even got a license and all that stuff, you see the family there. The very first patient there was the grandma. You know what I mean? She was the very first patient on their grand opening. Aunts and uncles and cousins and people are a part of this business to be able to, supply good medication to people that need it. Before testing was even required, Sticky Saguaro didn't take any products in unless they were tested, to be able to assure to their customers that they're putting out something that is actually going to be safe, right? And the customer service that you get at Sticky Saguaro is just, second to none. They care about you. They really want to help. And I think that's what the beauty of it is. And Sticky Saguaro is out in Chandler, so if you're out for, they have all the major brands, and they're not going to carry just anything. You know what I mean? They really want the consumer to really get a benefit from coming there. They have amazing deals as well. So Riggs and McQueen, go to check them out. Sticky Saguaro. If you haven't been there, you're out that way. You got to go check them out, man.
I'm down there.
They're, like I said, one of the few family-owned, family-operated. I don't even think there's only a handful.
Yeah,
it's all mostly corporate here.
Got to support those guys.
I mean, 90% or more of our whole cannabis licensing and everything is all corporate-owned now.
Yeah,
and most of those companies are not from Arizona. They're not even from our country. A lot of them are from Canada. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we got to, and then, I'm sure you follow Cureleaf and the MSO that they have.
Yeah.
That's Russian oligarchy kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? That's owned by the Russians, and, we got to support good people.
It's good that you're, educating people on that, because I don't think most people know about
They don't. They don't even, a lot of people might not even care.
They might not.
But that's why I say you got to know where your dollar's going. In the end, supporting small companies, the dollar stays where it should. Yeah. Right? I mean, in that state, in that city, wherever it is, it's going to good people that are actually putting in blood, sweat, and tears to be able to bring you a good quality product that is actually, that they're proud of.
And they're living in the community.
That's right. You know what I'm saying? And you're proud of your products, right? You're proud to put them out. You're proud for people to have success with your products. Same thing here. I'm proud to be able to sell products to my customers that I know can, really work and be amazing for them. You can grow however you want. You can come in here. I'm not going to sell you fucking poison that's going to hurt you. I'm not going to sell you any kind of sprays. I don't carry that shit. Whatever it is, you can go to somewhere else. If they want to sell it to you, that's fine. But I'm not going to do that. I really care about my customers. This is my community. I grew up right here where my store is at. I see these people at the store, the farmer's market, the this, the that. Some of them I grew up with and went to school with, and whatever it is, they come and shop with me. They know they can trust me, whether it's be food, cannabis, whatever it is. I've had a huge following throughout the years that people, trusted me for cannabis. And I took that to heart, you know what I mean? I'm like, well, they obviously, they can get cannabis all sorts of places, right? But they want to come to me because they know that they're going to get a safe, good product. And that made me feel good. I'm like, for so many years, people coming to me for that, that's freaking awesome, bro. Like, you know what I mean? It made me feel good.
That's the way it should be, man.
It should, and that's the way I grew up. You know what I mean? I grew up like that, where there was a real respect for your grower, for cannabis in general.
Yeah.
And I think that's where, the culture is dying all the time. I say it all the time. It's dying, and we're losing it. You know what I mean? And we can't let corporate cannabis control it.
Yeah.
Because we see where it's going. We see where the trend, it's on a downtrend, everybody. Like, corporate cannabis is killing the culture. Like, it's literally, we're seeing prices just drop, and we're seeing quality drop. That's where we need to freaking stop that practice. It might be too late in certain situations. Like, our scene is already taken over. Corporate came in, stole all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So we have to support this family-owned, family-operated small businesses. There's a lot of cannabis companies, brands that are underneath the umbrella of these corporate companies that are fucking, their hands are tied.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's, I think you touched on it. I think that's where the craft side comes in. There's an art to growing really good quality cannabis. I mean, you look at the majority, and I've been around, I've shopped around multiple states. The majority of it is not good. It's just not.
Dude, I don't see anything anymore what we started with. I haven't seen dank like that since way back in the day. To where I'm like, I've never, to this day, I'm like, fuck, I'm waiting to see something that is that dank again. You know?
Yeah. Well, you got these overfunded, underknowledged corporate guys growing just for profit, and they're taking the craft side of it and putting it to the wayside. But I believe there's always going to be a market for that craft side. It's similar to like the beer industry. You saw this big boom of craft in the last decade or so, but more maybe, where these little craft breweries started coming out and doing really
more and more, like you said.
Yeah, so
I love it.
That's why I think I still have hope. That quality can come back around. Again, guys like yourself, preaching, what you're doing, getting people aware. And I know there's growers out there that want to put out the best quality. I talk to them all the time. Yeah. They want to put out the best quality that they can because it's their craft. It's their art, really.
And I think what needs to happen is the industry, especially here, maybe in California it's a little different because you can probably, especially in Oklahoma, you can get a license for a lot cheaper. You can get into the industry. You can do your little thing, right? In Arizona, you can't fucking do that. Like myself, like you now, that you're here. If we wanted to go and just do a little 5,000 square footer.
Yeah, not available.
If it is, it's fucking ridiculous to do it.
Yeah.
The license holder will charge you a ridiculous monthly fee to lease the license. Mm-hmm. Then, on top of that, it takes time to get to a finished product. Like, you either have a life savings that you're going to put into it, or you got to take an investor, and then they fucking puppet your ass and fucking until they get their money and whatever else. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, well, shit, like there needs to be something with the legislature that's more geared towards the smaller guy. Let us have smaller entrance fees to get in and have a small cultivation that's capped. Yeah. Even. You know what I mean? You're capped at 5,000, 10,000, whatever it is. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. Let me do my thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's still, arguably it's still the Wild West. This is still a very new industry. That's why we're seeing such peaks and valleys. There's still a lot of different, I've seen these corporate guys fail miserably because they were overfunded and underknowledged. They didn't know what the hell they were doing, and they were tired of pouring money into it, and they've left. Although there are some still kicking around, but there's still a lot of growth spurts that are occurring, and a lot of unknowns. But one thing's for sure. More and more people are using cannabis, so it's not going anywhere.
Right? Yeah, no, it's not. And that's why the show, the Stoned Age podcast. We're in the Stoned Age, right? It's fucking. You see it everywhere.
Yeah.
Billboards, TV, this, that. You see it everywhere, and it's talked about everywhere. And we're literally in the Stoned Age, which creates a lot of opportunity. But we have to diversify. We have to be innovative. We have to, like you said, set yourself aside. By doing products like this, Organics Alive is setting themselves aside from the 100 or the million freaking mineral-based nutrients that are out there now and blah, blah, blah. You guys are on the forefront of this. I think you guys are, doing it right, and staying true to your products. The story behind it, even down to the names of the products. Like you said, it was the V series, vascular, what'd you call it?
Vacuole.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, everything has a meaning, right? Yeah. And it's not just a fucking name.
Yeah.
Can other companies that have this popular brand break it down to where everything makes sense in their company, down to the product names and the this and that? Not very many. And those are the people that are really showing that they're passionate about what they're putting out, because every little thing has a meaning to it.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, we've went through such a process. Obviously, it's been challenging to build an enterprise, and we get challenges every day. But we really, really do take a lot of pride in everything that we do, down to the packaging. We've had, obviously, we're constantly evolving. You have to these days. We have to continuously pivot. Like we were talking earlier, we had to get rid of certain products because, logistically speaking, it just wasn't feasible. We used to be able to land a pallet of 60 bags of amendment to a store for $600, most anywhere in the country. But since
right.
we got world conflict and gas prices, it's like that business disappeared. Yeah, a shipping container was $3,000 to get over here of raw materials. Let's say, that jumped to $25,000.
Yeah,
it's like so. We had to make major pivots, but at the end, we were staying true to the plant and wanting to produce the best product that we can, and I think we've achieved that.
That's good, man. I think you guys have a bright future, and you're just barely scratching the surface. Like you said, there's so much more to learn about your products and what other things inputs that you can put into it to maybe add to the lineup or make it even better. So I think
organic hydro is coming.
Hey, and I think that's important. I'm a hydro guy. I started out hydro, and I think that's amazing because, it's going to be a game changer. Yeah. It really is. And I think that's where we're going to see, maybe that's where we'll see a shift, right? We'll see a shift in quality to where it's not all about just spending the least amount of possible, you know what I mean? You put in the right inputs that are natural, not going to harm the environment, this, that, and the other, and you get the results, and you're saving money and getting the yields that you're looking for.
Well, it was not possible. I mean, maybe it was possible in certain ways, but now it's a lot more feasible with our technology for sure, and we've proven that. So it's going to be exciting.
Well, I'm excited for you guys. I think that what you're doing is going to be next level. I'm excited that you're here now in Arizona. I mean, I think that, this is something that, Arizona kind of needs. Majority of our cultivations out here, in my opinion, are going to be salt-based, mineral-based cultivations. There's not going to be too many organics out here. One of my last guests, obviously he's doing it right, I think, and he's using your guys' product. Yeah, Alex.
Shout out to Alex.
He's doing
we just had his place today. He's looking really good. He's a really, really good cultivator.
And that's good, And when we had a great interview as well, and he's got a lot of knowledge and our industry here, and he's been through the ringer himself, multiple times, and he's still in it. Because he wants to put out a good product and really, do something here in our state. So I think that's good. Cannaplanet _official, I believe, is their Instagram. Check them out. Give them some support. I mean, he's been posting some really nice pictures recently on the plants, and that's using your line of nutrients. So I think
I was
that's
just over there. They're harvesting a round right now. It looks really beautiful. He's going right to rosin with it, so he's freezing everything. So
nice.
If you haven't heard of them, really, really good product he's putting out.
Awesome. Well, I look forward in the store as well, Little Shop of Hydros, to see what we can do about carrying your guys' line. And
I'll go a step further. I actually brought a bunch of sample packs.
Oh, sweet.
So anybody in the Phoenix area who shops here at Little Shop of Hydros, come on by, ask Jeremy about the Organics Alive sample pack. He'll hook you up.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to leave him limited supply, but if it proves to go quickly,
grab them while it's hot.
I'll bring more. And then I'll also leave my cards. I'm available. We do breakdowns all the time. So, commercial grows or smaller grows, we'll do a free consultation.
Cool.
Give us the specs on your grow operation. We'll run the numbers for you 6 ways from Sunday. We'll give you the usage breakdown. We'll give you the square footage cost breakdown, per gallon use, per gram to produce, and per plant. All that stuff free of charge, so you can understand what it looks like to use the Organics line and what it would cost you.
That's great, man. I think that's a huge benefit to any kind of grower out there, to be able to have those breakdowns and to be able to know, all those different statistics. I mean, it all matters, right? For these larger cultivations, they're going to want these questions answered, and you have it for them. So I think that's just an added benefit that you're going to be able to give to large-scale and small-scale growers. And I think, by you, I appreciate you giving out those sample packs to us.
Yeah.
And we can give them out to our community here. Our community, I know my customers for sure, they love to be able to try stuff and to be able to get free stuff as well. I'll be selective. People come in, you come in, you got to be able to, show me that you're going to appreciate this line, use it, give some feedback, do some social media posts, and really, show the results, because that's what this is about. These companies are, generous enough to be able to give these products for us to be able to give away as well. But it helps these companies as well if we give back and be able to post it on social media and put it out and promote it to our friends and, make it worth it, right?
Yeah, only if it works for you. We're not asking for any handouts. That's why we like to give the product out. We put it in the hands of the grower. They can see it for themselves, and really the product does the talking. So
cool.
What in our sample pack, just so it's recorded here, is enough. It's our complete line, and it's enough to do 1 or 2 plants from sprout to harvest.
Sweet. I mean, that's perfect. I mean, I think that's the beginner person that's going to come in that's what they're going to be doing. A lot of people, they don't want to go more than 1 or 2 plants because they don't want to, and they want to be successful, and they want to do small until they can be successful, and then they're like, okay, let's add some more to it.
Yeah.
So I look forward to being able to do that. I do the farmers markets, not during the summer, but we do a huge farmers market out here that we can really display, and we display the products out there. I talk, firsthand with the people. They get to hear it. They get to take it home, try it. So once we get back into the market in fall, we'll reconnect on those kind of sample things as well. You can come out to the market with me.
I would love to.
I mean, every Saturday we go out there. There's literally thousands of people that come out on that Saturday.
Yeah.
And we get to talk to them and really promote products. So I think that's something that I'm glad that you're here now. We can work more together. And if you guys are down to really do some more community goodwill.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you about the community garden, that's with the city of Phoenix and the Sunny Slope High School. I do lots of work with schools and things like that.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to be part of those kind of things, we really love to connect and really collaborate with the different brands and make shit happen. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah, we'd love to be a part of that.
Cool. Well, yeah, that's what we're about here, at Little Shop of Hydros and Diana Pierce CBD. Anybody that's been here and knows us, we love community. We love family-oriented. We're really, we're trying to give back. I grew up right here, like I said, in this community. We're trying to really educate people about, gardening no matter what it is. You want to grow houseplants, you want to grow vegetables, you want to grow your own cannabis. We want to be your go-to store to be able to come to and get the right education and the right products and not just waste your money. So I really appreciate you coming over here,
Thanks
Justin.
For having me, Jerry. This is awesome.
I think, it's been a great interview, a lot of good information, a lot of good, insight on your guys' products and why people should try you out and switch over possibly. And, I think you guys are going to have great success and just, being true to your guys' products. So I really appreciate what you're doing for the industry, for you taking the time to be here tonight and really, spread the message. This is a, mostly Arizona-based show, but we really want to put out, good brands and good products to our customers out here.
Yeah, well, I'm super happy to be in this state. This state's been awesome so far. I just got here, but, we spent a good year researching this. The people are great here. We're in a great little community, so I'm here in this state for the foreseeable future. So I'm stoked that you're giving me this exposure because I do want to connect with the community. I do want to connect with the growers and other cannabis enthusiasts. So please, if you have any interest in our product line and growing the best cannabis, I'm available. I'll come to you. And
how can they find you?
Social
media.
Social media. You can find us on Instagram. The main page is at Organics Alive. You can message me directly on Instagram at Organics Alive Justin. And then certainly there's a ton of information and all of our products available online at organicsalivegarden.com. There's a ton of information. We have a little link at the very bottom of the homepage. It's called Growers Downloads. You can find a ton of data. If you're into that, if you're a data nerd, you can find all the metals reports. You can find our grow guide, of course, and all the usage rates. So great source of information there. But in the future, if you're looking to get the products, I'm hoping you can get them right here at the Little Shop of Hydro.
That's right. I plan on carrying you guys. So thank you, man. We get a lot of love for the name, and we are the Little Shop. Like I said, we're not really geared towards more of the commercial. We can take care of commercial, but we're here for the little guys. I'm the little guy. I'm a little grower. I've been growing for a long time, and I like to help out support the little growers as well. The little guys out there need our support, and the same kind of, I guess, customer service that the commercial guys would get. You know what I mean? I come from that industry as well. I want to cater to the small to the big guy, but my heart is with the smaller guys, and to be able to see them be successful. A lot of these people were never able to be able to grow cannabis. Now that it's legal, gives them an opportunity to do something that they've never done before.
Yeah.
And it's a hobby. I tell everybody it's a hobby. It's not just something you're not just growing this plant. Once you start doing that, you want to do it different all the time. Add more to it. You want to just make it better and funner. You know what I mean? Bigger. You know what I mean? Like you want to start growing outside. You want to start growing a garden. You know what I mean? It's so much fun to grow plants. Yeah. They do so much for us. So. Oh, yeah. But I appreciate your passion, man, and I really want to shout out to my sponsor, Sticky Saguaro, again out in Chandler. They're doing it right. Make sure you check them out at Riggs and McQueen. Just go there, check out their website, stickysaguaro.com, on all their daily deals. They have some awesome different deals to save you that money as well on some great quality cannabis products. Little Shop of Hydros, right in North Phoenix, 7th Street in Mountain View, 9812 North 7th Street, Phoenix, Arizona, 85020. Diner Pure CBD right next door. You need CBD wellness. We have all your products, all of our products, 90% of our line are all USDA certified organic and nano emulsion as well. So if you need education about that, come on in. We'll educate you on which products you need to use. We're the Stoned Age Podcast. Check us out. Peace.